And joining us now from Nairobi, Kenya is Deepmala Mahla. She is the Chief Humanitarian Officer for CARE. Deepmala, thank you for being on the show. As a humanitarian, you have seen the aftermath of disasters all over the world. Describe how dire the situation is on the ground.
Thank you, Isabel. The situation on the ground is so dire and extremely urgent. I have been in touch with our team since it happened, and the testimonies you hear, the pictures that you see, they're absolutely devastating. I'm hearing from our teams and partners on the ground that they are still looking for their family members, thinking some of them may be under the rubble. We have heard of things about people screaming from under the rubbles or destroyed structures, and the sheer horror in which our colleagues explain it to us, like buildings collapsed just within seconds. And one of the really critical things for humanitarians, like, for example, is the hospitals and clinics. Many of them are reduced to rubble or damaged severely, and they are overwhelmed. And right now, we need medical services massively. Similarly, the bridges and roads, the Ava Bridge, which spans across the majestic Irrawaddy River, is no more there. A bridge means a connection, connecting people, bringing in food, bringing in supplies. So all this break in the infrastructure, and right now the urgent need of meals, clean water, sanitation, need. Organizations like who are on the ground, we are trying our best to deliver a humanitarian response given the situation is so urgent.
Right, and Deepmala, your audio was cutting out a little bit, but I hear you strong now. And you were mentioning just how critical it is that even a highway leading directly to Mandalay, that anyone would need, any rescuer, anyone dealing with international aid would need to get help right where it's most needed, crumbled up. I've also heard of people sleeping outdoors, people who have lost everything, or some that may not feel comfortable, safe, sleeping in a building, sleeping in their home after witnessing so many of these buildings just crumbling down. What are you hearing?
I mean, similarly, people are scared to go back. And this reminds me of our work when the Turkey-Syria earthquake happened. People did not want to get out of their cars and go back into homes. I'm hearing similar things about especially children. They do not want to go back. Now, when the major roads are disrupted, our past experience tells us exploring the shorter routes, the alternative routes, the back roads, that can really help. So we are right now assessing that situation. And the medical supplies are in tremendous shortage. We really need things like antibiotics, bandages, surgical equipment, and then bringing all these supplies, of course, needs some critical thinking because, the airports are also not fully functional. But the key thing here is the humanitarians are on the ground, they are assessing the situation, we are ready to respond, and this humanitarian response needs to be resourced very quickly. And Isabel, I also want to remind, we are right now talking of things like shelter, water, sanitation, medical aid, things tangible which we can see, but we can never undermine the trauma the people have gone through, the psychological aspect of it. And shall we put it in perspective? We are talking of Myanmar, a country which has been facing severe humanitarian crisis for years. 1/3 of its entire people, about 20 million, are in serious need of humanitarian assistance. So before around 1 p.m. of Friday, there were millions who did not know their next meal is going to come from. So this is a new shock after another one. And remember, last year, the country faced severe cyclones and extreme flooding. So it is fragility over fragility. And people are deeply vulnerable. And right now, everybody needs to stand and support Myanmar.
Right. So many challenges to a country that's already dealt with so much, has been so poverty stricken, and now they have a long road ahead of them. Still, as so many people are in need of rescue. And Deepmala Mahla in Nairobi, Kenya, thank you so much for your time.